Yeousch.
Yeousch.
Hey guys, Bowling Otter here, and I want to tell you about a game I've been playing a lot of recently. Omerta City of Gangsters from Kalypso Media. Seems pretty cool, right? Got city management, turn-based combat, it's all in Prohibition-era Atlantic City, New Jersey, like Boardwalk Empire. I did a video review of the game on my channel. Hoping to come check it out if you're interested in the game. For now, here's a little what's in that video. As you progress, you'll hire gang members, and each time you do anything from buying liquor to talking to a gossip, you'll need to assign one gang member to the task. Each time you do this, the task takes real time, and Omerta doesn't give you any indication of how much. It's usually only a minute or so, but it would have been nice to have a cooldown timer or something just to have something to track. There's actually no indication of time at all other than the aesthetic of the sun coming up and going down. Going through these motions can be fun at first, but Omerta stops short of ever giving you the feeling of really building something. Instead of providing a sizable, growing landscape of possibilities in Atlantic City, Omerta splits the game up into small scenarios. Each scenario takes place in a snapshot of the city with only a certain amount of buildings to work with. And once you play for an hour or so and that scenario's objective is met, you move on to the next scenario. But this also means leaving behind that section of the city forever, and all of your buildings and businesses with it. You keep your gang members, but that's it. As a result, every new scenario feels like you're starting all over again. You don't feel like a gang lord rising to greater power, you feel like a scrub again, knowing nothing about the city and knowing no one else in it, over and over again. And though you do generally earn more money each time and get the chance to build bigger and better buildings, you almost never actually need the new ones to progress. In my case, if a scenario's objective hadn't specifically called out to build 3 nightclubs, I probably never would have built one. I was doing okay with my simple little tried-and-true setup. Now speaking of scenario objectives, most are just a hodgepodge of talk to this guy, kill these guys, make X amount of money, and like I mentioned before, once you meet the objectives, the scenario ends and you're on to the next, leaving everything behind. Early on, I was delaying meeting my objectives just so I could actually feel like I was doing something in the city. But once you play enough, you'll notice that you're really doing the same thing over and over. And since the ultimate goal is usually just to make X amount of dollars, most of your later time with the game will be spent staring at the screen, waiting for the money to hit the mark. Honestly, that's probably the biggest issue with the game. There's not much of a challenge. Not much impetus to build a complex, efficient system. It's never about if you can make money, it's how fast. And there aren't any time limits. You go with your standard few buildings and just wait while the money comes in. It kind of feels like work after a while. There is a 5-star heat system that designates how closely law enforcement is looking into you, but it just adds to the inconvenience of the whole thing. All that happens if it reaches 5 stars is you go under investigation and need to put out a bribe to take the heat off. If you're halfway competent, you'll always have the money for the bribe, so this really just delays things and makes you wait longer while you make up the money you lost. Then there's the other part of the game. Peppered throughout the scenarios are turn-based combat sequences heavily influenced by XCOM. You have a squad of up to 4 gangsters, each with unique abilities and various weapons, and you take turns with the enemy, using cover to best protect your characters whenever possible. These parts are pretty fun, though very underdeveloped. It's fun to strategize and make sure you have the right guys with the right abilities for the job, and see how the different weapons work from shotguns to pistols to revolvers to rifles. But this mode has its fair share of drawbacks as well. So that's a little of what I had to say about Omerta City of Gangsters. Again, the rest of it's on my channel. If you click the link below, it'll take you directly there. So if you got a second, come check it out.